Good morning, everyone. It's Elaine. I'm going to show you how I get my designs onto my top and what I do to get my designs. First, I'll go to Pinterest and I'll find the designs that I like. I'll print the designs off of Pinterest by using Control P to get my picture to come up after I've clicked on it. And then I will print it out, and then I will trace it onto tracing paper to get the design the way I exactly want it. Sometimes I'll go with the design that's there. A lot of times I'll just retrace it, leaving out some pieces or using the leaves on one thing and the flowers on another. The lily up here, I drew the leaves and then I found the flowers on another design on Pinterest. I printed those out and cut them out and placed them where I wanted them on my design. These flowers right here I drew on my own, and I'm going to use a particular weave stitch to do these flowers. It's a fun stitch and I really like doing it, and it makes my flowers look really cool. This tree here I drew myself, and these leaves I found on Pinterest. This mushroom I found on Pinterest. It had a lot more designs on it than this. And then I drew this little fairy house out of a mushroom house. But I found the picture on Pinterest and used part of it to draw this design. I got a little flower cart over here, and the little fairy jumps down off the flowers. And you can see these flowers, and then I've got a stitch that goes down. It looks like steps, so she can get to her flower cart. And then this is where she lives, in her little house. Got a little sunshine up there, mushrooms, and then over in this corner, the leaves. So that's my design. And now I will take this design and I will take these pictures, these designs off one by one and tape them to a white piece of paper. Then I'll take, oops. Then I've got this right here, which is called Stick and Stitch. And I'll put it in my printer, and I will put my design papers that I've sticked my designs to into the scanner. And then I will scan them, and it'll print them, and then I will have them on sticky back paper. That's what this Stick and Stitch is. It's a sticky back paper. Now, I keep track of my designs in a book like this. And I find my color combinations for my threads on Pinterest under color combinations. And I find my designs. Here's the fabric I used. I find my designs on there as well. Now, I take a picture of my top after I've got all my placement done so that I can figure out where I need to put these after I've taken them off and printed them. So this kind of gives me a little guide to go by. Now, if you don't have a printer, which I didn't for many years, and I still did this, I used this. It is a water-soluble stabilizer. And it kind of looks like, if you look at it, it kind of looks like plastic wrap. They have a thicker kind. This is a thinner kind because I accidentally ordered the wrong stuff. But you can order the thicker kind and off of Amazon. That's where I got it. And anyway, you just tape the picture to the table, tape this stuff over it so it's nice and taut, and then trace around your design. And then you can just stitch this right onto your fabric where you want it. So There's a couple ways to do it, and that's the two ways I used to do it with the Solvay. I still do some of it with the Solvay, it depends. And then the stick and stitch. Now, I really love the stick and stitch because it saves me a lot of time of tracing. And once I've already traced these and got them the way I wanted them, when I have to retrace them, sometimes I make mistakes. So I'd rather just print them onto the stick and stitch and then go from there. Now, the design threads I keep in this book, and I write down all the color numbers, as you can see right there. And then I added a couple extra, and I write those down. This way, when I'm stitching and I need thread again, like if I run out, then I can go right to the store and get the threads I need without having to try to figure out what threads I used or whatever. I have that wrote down right from the beginning, and so then I know what I'm using and if I run out, so I don't have to worry about that. Here's the little flower I drew. Now, this flower, I drew the leaves, and then I found the flowers in another book. I mean, on Pinterest. And I printed them out and then stuck the flowers in the place where the flowers go on this. And so that's how I figured out how to do it. And the little fairy girl, I more or less used the arms of the picture that was an inspiration, which is right here. So I could see how to lay the arms out. But I drew a completely different little fairy. As you can see, that's not the same fairy at all. Or the same flower. So it's completely different, but I used this as my inspiration to draw this. Now, here's my little mushroom house. When I drew the mushroom house for my piece, I kept the little mushroom on the side off. So I alter the designs as I see fit. And now the next one will be picking stitches for this design. And I'll do many different kinds of stitches on these to finish this design. As well as on some of the exposed seams, I will do different types of stitches on those seams as well. And I'll be adding beads and buttons and all kinds of different things to this, charms. But that's towards the end. First I stitch everything down, then I'll add my buttons and my beads and charms to it. But I'd kind of do it in stages. And you've seen the first 4 stages of getting this accomplished. So now that I've got this all done, I take a picture of it to put in my book so I can see where to lie my designs after I've got them all printed onto my stick and stitch. And this just gives me a complete layout of my design. So the design is all up to you. It's whatever you feel like putting on your composition notebook cover, and you just go with it. Go with what you have in your mind. Look up some nice designs on Pinterest and your color combinations on Pinterest. And then if you want to know how to draw flowers, you can go on Shada Campbell. She is a great artist, and she's on YouTube, and she will teach you how to draw doodle flowers of all kinds, and then you can use those skills to make your own designs. Also, there is a another way to get designs, which is, or to learn to draw a little better, which is to do Zentangles. And Zentangles teach you a perspective of drawing. It sort of makes you understand foreshortening and the things of drawing in a way that is playful and helps you to grasp what drawing really is. So Zentangles are a lot of fun, and they're really design oriented for like repetition. So you kind of learn how to do it because you're doing it over and over and over again, and you're seeing how to lay out those Zentangles, which really helps you learn perspective in drawing. So I use those methods, Shada Campbell and Zentangles, on YouTube to improve my drawing and to help me draw my own designs, even though I do use a lot of designs from Pinterest and different books that I have. So that's pretty much how you get started with this. And how I document it, so I have all the right colors and I'm not picking out the wrong colors when I'm trying to finish up and I run out of thread or something. And this documents it. And I also put on dates in my book so I can see how long it actually takes me to do this top. And usually it takes between 6 and 8 weeks maybe to do it. And that's a lot of stitching. That's stitching. Sometimes I stitch maybe 10 hours a day, which is way too much. But I had a heart attack in September and I was healing, so I needed to sit still. So I did a lot of stitching during that time as well. Okay, so I think that's about it, and I've went over the Solvay. The Solvay right here, so you can see exactly what it is. And then it's up here is Solvay Water Soluble Stabilizer. And they have a thick kind and a thin kind. I would get the thick kind. It's much, much better. And then Stick and Stitch. Don't forget that. Stick and Stitch can be your best friend. Oops. It's by Sulky too. And Stick and Stitch. And I ordered both of these off of Amazon, so I know you can get them on Amazon. I could not find the Stick and Stitch in Joann's or in Michael's or at Walmart. I went 3 or 4 different places and could not find it in the store, so I just ordered it off of Amazon, and it got here in a couple days. You get 24 sheets for $28. So they run about $1.20 per sheet, and I use about 2 sheets when I do my designs for one top. So it's about $2.40 for it. Of course, the Sulky it's not as expensive, and you can trace it yourself, so you're not using ink or anything. When you use this Stick and Stitch, you have to use your printer, and that's just how it's done. And so I like it with the Stick and Stitch because it makes it a lot easier. And when I draw the designs, I make sure I use a black pen. And this black pen shows up really well on the Stick and Stitch. And then I'm able to go ahead and print it out. Go ahead and print them out onto my Stick and Stitch, which here is the Stick and Stitch I printed it out on. And you can see it's nice dark lines so I can see to stitch. I can see one ran off a little bit, but I'll just fix that. It'll still work. And then here's the other page. So it took me 2 pages to get my designs on here. And then I'll cut them out very carefully. I'll cut them out very carefully, and then I will stick them to my project. Whoops, sorry guys. Stick them to my project, and then I'll hand stitch down each design, so it's not flipping up when I'm trying to stitch. It's going to take me a few weeks to stitch this, so I want everything to stay in place, no flipping up or no falling off. So I'll stick them down, and then I'll hand stitch them with a running stitch to get them to stay in place. And then the fun part comes, is picking threads for my design. So I have a book that I keep everything in. I've already showed you. And here we go. I go on Pinterest again, pick all the combination colors that I want. I go under color combinations, and a bunch of colors will come up. And then I'll just go through and pick out which one I want to use. And then I'll find the threads. And then, like I said, I add a few threads down here. These weren't in this combination, but I added like a darker orange, a red, and a darker yellow. And I might add another lighter yellow to this as well. So now I've got all my threads wrote down. I have all the numbers wrote down, so there's no forgetting or no losing track. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and the next video will be about picking stitches for our design. And I use lots of different stitches. I enjoy doing the different stitches, and I also use different threads too. So we'll get through to that further down in the video. But for now, I've got my placement here. I will cut out all my designs that are on my papers, and I will get busy sticking them to my top that I created, my canvas, I call it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and like I said, the next one will be about picking stitches for our designs. And I've showed you 2 ways to get your stitches on to your top, so that you can be sure to get it just like you want it. And that's what this is all about. It's a personal, intuitive design, and you just figure it out how you want to do it. I've got my fabrics all down the side here, my threads right here, this right here. These are the designs I used to try to get to where I was going. And then I've got my designs all printed out onto this stick and stitch. And now for me, I'm just going to get busy, and I'm going to put the designs that are on this paper into my book, so I can keep track of the designs I used on this top. And then I'm going to pin all these, or stick all these to my design. And then I'm going to get busy stitching, and this is my fun part. But actually, I love doing all of this. I love picking out the fabrics and then making my top. I love picking out my threads and deciding what threads I'm going to use. And I just enjoy the whole process, actually, from the beginning to the end. And so that's how I do it. And if you want to do it too, just keep following me, and we're going to get to stitches next time. And have a great day. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, because we're going to keep on creating these projects. Next is going to be stitches, and that'll be fun. Have a good day.